Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Wellness Inspired Podcast. Or if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm your host, Sheri Davidson, and I can't believe this is episode 7. Well, this episode is going to be an exciting one, and it is the healing benefits of biophilic design with Jackie Berry. But first, I'd like to share a few things with you. If you missed the last episode, Running Adventures, Catalina Island 50K, check it out. I have created the series to inspire physical activity that gives back to you, because that is the only way you're going to stick to it. I love to run, travel, and learn. And I thought it would be fun to create a story around my travel running adventures. The experiences give back to me in so many ways. I really love immersing myself in beautiful places off the beaten path. I love the challenge of the runs, and I love learning along the way. This could be people that I meet. It could be a lesson that a run taught me. It could be a piece of history that I didn't know before. But many times, it's the holistic experience that I have, and that I get to come back and share that story with family, friends, and now you guys. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I love doing them. And as I always say, never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. So the next episode will be episode 8, and I will be solo talking about relationships, connections, and communications. This is a very important topic to me, so I look forward to sharing it with you. And I was hoping to do this episode in celebration of Valentine's Day, which was at the time I'm recording last week, but it didn't work out that way. So I will post episode 8 in a couple of weeks, and that will put us into March. And I cannot believe we are already in March of 2022. Crazy. So please tune in. I will also be interviewing Tammy Hiroka in a coming podcast. If you've been following along here, you know I love traveling and adventure. And I will be chatting with Tammy about wellness travel and tourism. So again, please tune in. To get updates on the new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to wellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up. I'll put the link in the show notes, and you can sign up there to make it easy for you. Also, there is a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you like what you hear, please give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps others find me. And if you're in the Houston area or visiting and interested in acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, or dry needling therapy, contact us. You can find out more on our website at element5om.com. That's element number 5om.com. Again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out and we'll get you on the schedule. And last but not least, I host 2 monthly events, Yin Yoga and Mindful Meditation. Yin Yoga is with my friend Georgia. We do it on Zoom. Yin Yoga is a passive style of yoga and a meditative style of yoga. I guess all yogas, you need to be mindful and present, but I really feel like Yin Yoga, you can drop into meditation because there is not this constant flow of movement. You are lying in poses for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. We typically stay in them for about 3. You can really get into a meditative space with this style. And it's a restorative style of yoga. So it's perfect for anyone. And I love it. I'm a runner. I'm constantly engaging my muscles. So this is really nice to not engage my muscles and really get them to open up and release. And Yin Yoga also has some roots in Eastern medicine, which we all know I love. So Georgia talks a lot about the meridians and which meridians we are stretching and opening up. So I really appreciate that. So yes, please join us. It's great for everyone. So you're all invited. The second class is mindful meditation. That is with me. I love mindfulness. I practice it every single day. I practice more informal. So I just try to be very mindful throughout my day. And then I will have times where I actually sit. So that's formal versus informal mindfulness. Can't go wrong with this. So please join me once a month. I'll put the link in the show notes. It'll be on the Element 5 Acupuncture and Wellness events page. So you just go to the calendar, find the class that works for you, and come join us. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to talk about biophilic design today. And I have to say, I have a great appreciation for design. I was an interior designer many, many years ago. I went to U of H and got my undergrad in interior design and architecture. And I did corporate design in Houston and residential design in Austin. And then I took a different direction towards Eastern medicine and wellness. As Jackie says in the episode, you had an awakening. I really like that. I don't regret it. I do miss design. There are many times throughout the years I've looked back and I've missed it. I really have. But I have a passion for all of them. I love design. I love Eastern medicine. I love herbs. I love wellness. And it's really nice to see it all coming together here. It's nice acknowledging that piece of me that got pushed away for so long. So seeing it all come together right here on this podcast is so cool. I'm really enjoying it. So I think it would be appropriate to give a brief definition of what biophilic is and what biophilic design is, and then we'll jump into the interview. In 1984, there was a guy, Edward O. Wilson. He coined the term biophilia or biophilic, and he found that us humans have an innate tendency to be attracted to nature and seek connection with it and other forms of life. He thought it was due to evolutionary reasons, and one thought is we're drawn to resource-rich environments for our survival. And I think that we still look to nature for survival today. And I think research is proving that. Many cultures have long recognized our connection with nature and its vital role that it plays in our health and wellness. Look at the Japanese. They discovered the healing benefits of nature and they called it forest bathing. So if you're not familiar with forest bathing, it is a walk through a forest and you are engaging with the environment and using all of your senses. So you are listening, you are touching, you are visually seeing the plants. And some people take their shoes off so they feel the ground with their feet. You're taking all the aromas, and they have found over and over again that time spent in nature is healthy for us. It can reduce stress and strengthen the immune system. Now, biophilic design is the practice of connecting people and nature within our built environments and communities. So it's just pulling it all together. And Jackie Berry is the perfect person to talk about biophilic design with. She is a registered interior designer, landscape designer, and an interior design professor. She has been in the design industry for over 30 years. Design is her passion. Starting her education in interiors at the University of Houston with a BFA in interior design, then on to graduate from the Gerald D. Hine College of Architecture with a master's degree in architecture. Professionally working as a licensed interior designer for many years in Houston's ADA community, primarily specializing in corporate design, starting at WHR and ending at PDR. Jackie left PDR to start her own landscape design firm, Wildflower Landscape Design, transitioning from interiors to exteriors, all while practicing her second passion, teaching. Jackie began her teaching career in the same program she graduated from at the University of Houston and was program coordinator and affiliate professor at the Art Institute of Houston and is now a full-time professor at Houston Community College. Her greatest accomplishment is truly being a part of hundreds of Houston's promising and talented interior designers' educational journey and seeing each one succeed in a career and profession that means so much to her. So let me introduce you to the awesome Jackie Berry. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming to Element 5, Acupuncture and Wellness, to record the podcast. We're going to talk about biophilic design. We've talked about this before on the Health and Wellness podcast.
Right.
So I'm super excited. It was one of my favorite podcasts. We know I love design, have a great appreciation for it, even though I don't do it anymore. I actually met Jackie. I was a designer. And when was that?
Oh, I think we did this last time. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Was it? It was a long time ago.
It was in the 90s, right?
It was because I had just gotten out of college.
In the 90s.
And
when did you graduate? That's how
I graduated in 97. Was that right?
What's it? Yeah, it must have been. So it was the late 90s.
Yeah. Because I think I graduated in 96, 97 from U of H.
Yeah.
And then I started working at PDR, and I guess I was there for 3 or 4 years. And then I decided to go back to school for Chinese medicine. So I took off to Austin.
Had an awakening.
I had an awakening. And nonetheless, I still appreciate design. I love design. And, the term biophilic is just, every time I hear it, I just light up because I love nature.
Yes.
I always have. I'm a trail runner. And one of the things I love about trail running is just being immersed in these beautiful places and having this experience of running through them. Mm-hmm. So I love it. And even when I was young and I would practice my interior design skills on my room when I lived at home, I would always have nature, abstract paintings.
Interesting.
Always. Yeah. So I feel like I am very drawn to nature. I know a lot of people are. And the term biophilic design is the practice of connecting people with nature and their environments. For many reasons, but one reason that we're going to be talking about is for the health and wellness benefits.
Yes.
So I think you're the perfect person to talk about this with. You have a lot of experience in design. You had a landscape design business.
Yes.
And now you're a professor at one of the top 10 interior design schools in Texas.
Exactly. That was it was a surprise to get that news.
Was it?
Yeah. So we were taken aback by it, but yes, so we're doing something right over here.
Yeah. So you went to U of H too, right?
Yeah.
So how is it different?
Well, first of all, it's interesting just because HCC, we only have a 2-year degree, right? An associate's degree in interior design. We have that partnership with Stephen F. Austin where you can stay here in Houston, transfer to Stephen F. Austin, and still get a bachelor's degree, which is great. But HCC is just certificates and associate's degrees.
Okay.
So it's really impressive that we actually beat out 4-year schools.
Yeah.
To sort of get that. And so we try to cram a lot into your 2 years at HCC. So it's a intense program. But
I would have done that. Looking back on all my college and how much it cost.
Right.
Right.
Well, and now, firms out there are paying attention to associate degrees. Like before, I think when you and I were at PDR, they probably wouldn't even have looked at someone with an associate's degree in design.
True.
They wanted a bachelor's.
True.
At a minimum. True. But I think the work that we do, and then when we get students out into the jobs, they can see, they're like, holy cow, they know a lot. It doesn't matter that they, what degree they have.
Yeah. And I think there is a shift happening as well with the 4-year degrees.
Yes.
And the cost of them.
Yes.
And that a lot of students are going, they're in debt when they get out of school and they can't pay it back.
Well, and, I've taught at the University of Houston where I graduated from, and then I taught at the Art Institute of Houston,
right? I remember that.
And so now I'm at HCC, and, it really sort of was something that made me proud and happy working at a community college.
Yeah.
Where I know that, the amount that somebody's spending to better themselves is reasonable versus getting into so much debt.
Yeah.
I have former students from the Art Institute that
was it expensive?
Who knows if
Really?
It's like $90,000.
Wow. And now is it a 4-year?
It's a 3 most people take 4 years, but you can, if you went full time and you did it exactly as they say to do it, you could get out in 3 years. Yeah.
It's incredible how much it costs.
$90,000. And you hear students all the time talk about the interests that those student loans
Yeah.
bring with them. So,
Well, I am one. I still have my student loan
right?
from Chinese medicine school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about the same as about 100.
Takes
That's
a
what
long time to
pay it off. It does. So looking back, I would have totally done.
Right. An
especially
associate's degree,
especially if you're getting the same education or better,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and I love
if it's
U
a
of
good
H,
program.
but
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if it's a good program, but I really enjoyed my time at U of H and being a Houston Cougar.
Yeah. Exactly.
How did you get into design?
Okay. So, I talk to my students about left brain, right brain, and how interior design is, a bit of both. Like you have to have the creative side of you, and then you also have to have the business side of you to make it work, to be successful at it. And so it got me thinking about, my mom and my dad. So my dad was a, frustrated artist. I mean, he was in construction, but
What did
he was painting and drawing and, murals on the wall.
Yeah.
All those kind of things. Yeah. So he had that artistic side. And then my mom is a numbers person.
Okay.
So she's an accountant. And, so to me, it's sort of like I, am the, combination of both of those. Mm-hmm. And it fits with interior design because, we have to be creative, but we also still have to manage budgets and schedules and all of that. So I think it was just a good fit. I took in high school, I think it was called home economics back then. I think it still was. And so in that class is when I was introduced to interior design as a profession. And we did a Fingers Furniture contest. And
Fingers the store.
Yes,
store.
Finger Furniture was a store. It's gone now, right? I think
so.
Totally, yeah. But anyway, did a bedroom design and had a concept, and then they brought in for career day interior designers. And I remember the lady talking about traveling, and I was like, oh, this is for me. So it was kind of good because I took painting and graphics and things like that my first years at U of H, but again, with my mom being this driving force, she's like, are you sure you don't want to be an accountant? I'm like, I'm pretty sure. So it was a good fit to say, I can go get a job.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. When I graduated, it was one of those times in the economy. But, you had the ability to get a job and have a profession and not be a starving artist.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think my dad thought the same thing when I told him I was going to get my interior design degree. Because he was like, do you not want to be a doctor or an attorney? And I'm like, nope, this is what I want to do. Because I was always playing around with my space.
Yes.
And I was like, what do I like doing? And I was changing my bedroom around all the time, repainting all the time. My parents actually gave me the townhome this is when I was in school. They gave me the townhome to redo. So I just, but he didn't know that I could go out and get a job like at a,
at a firm, at a corporate firm,
corporate firm.
Yeah, we're going to have a paycheck and
yes,
benefits and all of that.
Yeah. So he was actually surprised about that. But I think too, designers and the creative brain needs some structure, right? Because even like time management, is huge, right? For I think a lot of creatives, because they get lost.
And I think that's
doing.
What interior design does. It really does marry those things together. Or
I agree.
In order to be successful, you have to have both of those sides of that going on. So time management. And we teach that. I mean, we have a whole unit on time management because
that's really great.
Yeah. And I think like design, you and I both graduated from U of H and the focus was design.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew what the phases of a project were when I got out of school, but I could design something.
Right.
But now we kind of really sort of balance that out with the reality of what they're doing and, then the creative aspect of it too. So time management, critical thinking.
That is so good.
All of that kind of stuff.
I wish I had more of that. Well, I do wellness coaching for University of North Carolina. And most of my students that I work with, a lot of it is time management, helping them manage their time to reduce their stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And anxiety.
Yeah. And you've got to have a plan. I think that's the other thing too. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
And so with interior design, you're working on multiple projects and multiple phases, and you've got to, you could get really stressed out about all of that.
It's a lot of work.
And, not being able to sort of, know where you need to go and what you need to prioritize and stuff like that. So I imagine, in any profession, but just in life in general, that's what you're working with those people on.
And constantly
I
working.
need your help on that.
I know, I'm constantly working with myself as well.
Exactly.
People don't get emails from me, and I'm like, or I'll like clump my paying my bills together. So it's like I keep getting those reminders that I owe somebody money. I'm like, 15th of this month, I'll do it all at the same time.
Exactly.
But well, awesome. So you didn't design. You've been doing design for what, 30 years?
30 years. Yeah.
So, and then the landscaping design, how did you get into that?
Well, that was kind of by accident because I bought my first house in 2000. And I think it had one bush and a pecan tree on the lot. And so it was kind of like, well, the outside of the house needs some help. So I just started, for the first time ever, going to nurseries. And I had a friend, Michelle, she's an architect, and we went to graduate school together. And she had always, sort of been into, gardening and things like that. It just was not something that I had ever done. And so going to nurseries and things like that and just falling in love with plants and just being like, well, my two loves of shopping and plants. Now, so combining those two things and, going, oh my God, look what I can get for $50 at the nursery, 10 different plants. And so my first, sort of step into that was my house. And, I pretty much had one of everything and was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And, how do I make it grow and keep it and, those kind of things. So I did my house, and then my neighbor saw me and he's like, well, will you help me with mine? And then that same friend, Michelle, she had a client looking for a landscape designer, and she introduced us. And so that was my first real official project.
Got it.
And I can remember sitting outside in the car thinking, okay, you got this, you can do this, you're an interior designer, but you know all about design, you can, and we hit it off, and I did multiple projects for them. And so that's how it all started.
Yeah. And but you're not doing that right now.
No. I'm focusing on teaching, and I, again, another passion, being able to combine design and teaching. And so I just really enjoy, it's sort of my way of giving back. Like I said, being at a community college where it's affordable and, seeing these, students come in and really being able to, express their creative side. And then I feel like I'm still just totally involved in design because we're talking about projects all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Landscape design, I kind of did that, I guess, 2006 I started the company. And then really I'd say 2000, I know it was 2016, 17. Of course, the pandemic kind of slowed everything down and made that transition a little bit easier. I still do. I have 2 jobs I'm working on. It's hard to say no to.
Well, I think
clients,
I asked you at some point, you said you were doing special jobs.
Yes, exactly. I will help out special people and special friends. And if it's a really interesting project. Yeah.
Well, you must be really good at it. And I know I've seen, we've stayed in touch through Facebook. So one of the benefits of Facebook, but I always see your pictures, and I saw your house, and I was like, oh, it looks so beautiful. And of course, I reached out to you when I was looking to put some greenery
outside here.
Yeah.
This is such a great space.
I love it.
It's very calming and.
Yeah, well, and the light comes in, especially this time of the year, and just really lights up not now, but around 1:00, it'll just really
Well, and I heard the birds chirping when I came in.
The courtyard. Yeah.
The courtyard,
Yeah, it's the only downside is Finn likes to stare out the windows and he occasionally barks at the delivery people.
Right.
Which is very startling sometimes to people when they're on the table with needles in.
Oh, right.
So one of my friends, and actually she was on the first episode, she does animal communication.
Right.
And so she did a reading on him. It was like a 30-minute reading. And she told me that he wants his voice at the clinic.
He wants to be known here. He's a part of this.
Yes. And I said, well, you can tell him that he can have his voice at home. But here
he needs to be a silent partner here.
He needs to be a silent partner here. So,
yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. If you're laying on the table and you're like kind of in your
zone. Yes.
And then
he barks. Yes. Most people I apologize. They're like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. He's doing his job. I'm like, I know. But he doesn't do it that often. Right. So anyways, well, let's talk about biophilic design.
Okay.
I like to, what I know about biophilic design is bringing nature inside for the health benefits is the way I look at it. But you bring nature and people together.
Yeah.
So how do you define it?
Well, it's basically what you said. I think, like when we talked last time, the pandemic really sort of brought it to the forefront of that sort of need for the connection to nature that we were all just sort of missing, didn't know we needed it, but then all of a sudden we had the time and the space to, really make that connection and not feel so trapped because, with being isolated and whatever it's called that we were doing for the last couple of years, that, being able to step outside of your house even or see outside, or even in the big cities, you saw how people were connecting with outside, because you couldn't go anywhere.
Herman Park was off. There were so many
people. Exactly. Yeah. So, I think it's just now biophilic design is something that's been around for a long, long time. And, it can be very technical.
Yeah.
And if you start reading up on it, there's 14 principles and 6, patterns, and, it's very complicated, or can be complicated,
sure.
But in essence, it really is just sort of, making those connections, either visual connections or physical connections.
Smells,
using all the 5 senses, really.
Yeah.
It's interesting in design because, I think in life in general, it's hard to ever come up with anything brand new, right?
Yeah.
It's always something's been around in one way or another. So when you hear that it's sort of trending now, it's been around for a long time, but I think a lot of the stuff that we do in design, we do intuitively because we just know it's the right thing to do. So, you can talk about, this is a biophilic design principle, but it's something that, as a designer, you just know it's the right thing to do,
sure.
And paying attention to what people are looking at and the views that they have, and you can link that all back to those real specific things in biophilic design.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm drawn to nature. I remember when Origins first came out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And I actually, at U of H, did a project that was for Origins, because I picked that company and had all these natural woods and plants. And anyways, it was very innate, right? Like I was drawn to that. But the first time I ever thought about the health and wellness benefits of biophilic design was in hospitals.
Yeah.
I think I read an article and they were saying that the hospital stays were shorter if you had a view of nature.
And it doesn't even have to be live.
It could be
nature. It's like
TV.
Even a picture of nature helps heal. Exactly.
I was just pointing to the large painting of a tree or canvas
the
image.
Forest
The forest.
Us, yes.
But yes, that their hospital stay was shorter. Their pain meds went down. Recovery was faster. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. So all of these things are like scientifically proven, right? Yeah. So that connection that it does help heal. It helps you be more productive.
Yes. And force bathing. The Japanese, they are doing a ton of research on the benefits of force bathing. And that is when you walk through a forest and you were barefoot using all of your senses.
Right.
You're smelling, you're hearing, you're touching. I know, right?
I always think about my yoga teacher. at the Y, and his whole thing was, just being in the moment, and even if you're washing dishes, listening to the water run. And so I try to do that.
It's a mindful practice, right? So I do some mindful meditation, and I do it for beginners, and I do it once a month. And
I know I've been meaning to.
Yeah, you should come
participate.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I do interval training, kind of like if you were going to do a couch to 5K, we meditate for 7 minutes, we come out, we talk, we go back in, we do it 4 times. But it's super fun. I always talk about an informal practice and a formal practice. So you can have a very formal practice of sitting somewhere. And then an informal practice is what you just talked about. It's just being very present in the moment. Like I always use the example of being in my car where I'm actually feeling the steering wheel.
Right.
I'm, I'm very engaged with my car. I'm looking around. I'm hearing everything, or washing the dishes.
It's interesting. Houston is such a car city, right? That we're in the car all the time.
All the time.
That you would bring that, that up. And funny because when I pulled up here, I was a little bit early. And so I got my Calm app out.
Did you?
I did. And I sat there. I was
Calm.
just like, of course, then I was like, the trucks were going by. But I was like, any little bit counts, know?
Yeah. But so that's a very informal practice, a very informal, mindful practice. Yeah, just a response to your mindful washing the dishes.
Exactly. That was his thing. It's like, even when you're washing the dishes. He moved, unfortunately, to Denver. He was the best ever. Anyway,
where was
he? He was at the Y.
The Y.
I mean, he taught all over, but his name, now it's totally, oh my gosh. Nicholas Auger. Okay. And he went to, he got a position a full-time position at the Y in Denver. And so, but he still does online. I keep thinking I'm going to try to do that, connect with him. Yeah. Online yoga. I don't know how that works, but it seems like it might be okay.
Yeah. You have to try it.
Exactly.
I'm kind of getting, Zoom exhausted, but, and I know a lot of other people are too.
Yeah.
But I do the mindful meditation on Zoom right now. We used to do it here in the, like the foyer out there. We do yin yoga out there. So I'm kind of wanting to go back to that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But it's
goes.
It's convenient. Right?
Yeah.
But,
so I think, with biophilic design, again, I'm bringing that into the classroom now, too. Yeah. I mentioned that in my residential design studio, one of the things that we try to teach interior design students is about design concept development. Sort of what's the big idea of the project. And it's something that's kind of hard to teach. And it's really, like, I felt like I didn't really get it until I got out into the real world and sort of was like, I can remember professors sitting across the table from them in architecture school and them saying, what's your concept or why are you doing this? And it's just like, well, I don't know. Doesn't it work? Is it wrong? But the understanding of what a design concept is. And so in that, in trying to teach that, I decided in their residential studio that I kind of give them these overriding topics that they can pick to work with. And one of them is biophilic design. One of them is health and wellness. And the other one was universal design and aging in play. So they sort of have that as a framework to work within. And the ones that, do the biophilic design really end up loving it and sort of, that connection. Again, I think it's just their connection to something that, they have experienced in their lives in terms of liking nature and things like that. But the idea of being able to bring it into their design projects.
They really like that.
They really like that. Yeah.
So was that something that you decided to incorporate, or is that something that people were asking for?
No, it's something I did. I mean, I think even but when we talked last year, that sort of idea was kind of in my mind. And then I was, it's always good to kind of stay current with what's going on. And I always have an element of sustainability in all my projects, which is, again, a part of biophilic design. It's having, sustainable materials and systems and things like that, clean air, all of that. So, it just was kind of a natural fit. And then I think, the pandemic really sort of accelerated everyone's kind of connection with nature and wanting that, like we said. And so people wanting to experience their yards and their outdoor spaces.
Yes, I
as
think
an extension of their home.
Exactly.
And so students are really interested in it. I'm teaching commercial design this semester for the first time at HCC, even though that's really my background from PDR. One of the professors that was there left, and so I stepped in to do the commercial design. And so I was like, okay, what kind of project am I going to do this first project? So wanted to do retail and corporate. And so we did this first 4 weeks of school, we did a pop-up shop in a redesigned trailer, and they could pick which one of 3 things that they wanted to sell. And I'd say over half of the class picked plants.
Really?
So indoor plants. Yes. So
after we came out of lockdown, I went to a nursery, Buchanan's. I went to Buchanan's. I know I love Buchanan's.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
I know. Well, I'm a part of those Facebook group, some of those Facebook groups of, interior plant parents and things like that. And
is that a Facebook group?
Yes.
Interior plant
parents. I think.
I love that.
And so you'll see all these posts of people, like, oh, I just found this, whatever plant. And so on Sunday I was at Buchanan's, and I was thinking about that plant group, and I'm thinking they must not live in a city that has a place like this, because there is every single kind of plant that you could want. I mean, they really focused on interior plants.
Yeah.
At Buchanan's now. And if you've been recently, but their whole,
I haven't been.
Undercover place is all interior plants. And so, you go in there and you're just like, that one, I went that. I'll like get my cart and then I'll have to put stuff back.
I need to go. I was in Catalina a couple of weeks ago, Catalina Island. And one of the things I noticed there is a lot of succulents. And so now I want to do a succulent garden.
Yes. Do you have sun?
I do have sun.
You have sun.
I have, well, not so in the winter. I don't get that direct sun, but in the summer I get that. I think it's faces. I think it faces east. Is that
west?
West. I'm sorry. It faces west.
Or south
west. Yeah, I face west.
Gotcha.
So it gets pretty hot.
I mean, there's just so many varieties,
and they're
just
so pretty
and beautiful, and
they were everywhere in California. Everywhere. So
that's what's awesome about plants, I think.
Yeah, I love watching them grow.
Yes,
taking care of them, watching them grow.
Well, and that can be what did you say it? Meditation,
mindfulness meditation,
unstructured, or the informal.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
sort of taking care of your plants and knowing how to water them and what light they need, and moving them and caring for them, and
absolutely.
Saying goodbye to them.
Saying goodbye to when we
don't.
I know. I had a couple of plants that got the millie. Are they the millie bug?
Oh, mealy bugs. Yes.
I had 2 mandevilles. Mandevillas? Is it mandeville?
Mandevilla.
Yeah, mandevilla.
Yeah.
That's how you say it?
I think so, yes.
Mandevilla. I had 2. They were beautiful. They were growing.
The vine, right?
The vine, yes. I love vine. So in Chinese astrology, you're associated with an element.
Okay.
I am Ewood, which is like plants, the leaves, the vines.
Oh, neat.
And then you have Yongwood, which is like an oak tree.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so they have different energies to them, right? So the vines, they're very connected. They need other people to grow on, like, so if I was going to look for a job, I'd be really good in a collaborative environment.
Gotcha.
And then you have like, say, Yongwood, and Yongwood
kind
they're
strong.
They take on projects.
Interesting.
They kind of protect, right? The canopies protect other plants underneath them. They are like the leaders of big projects. So it's really cool. Yeah. So I'm Ewood. So I'm very fragile. And not really, but anyway,
delicate.
Delicate is the word.
I'm
very. I can be very delicate.
Yes.
It's interesting because there's also like fire and earth and water,
right?
And there's the yin and the yang of each one.
That's so cool. All of that stuff is so interesting.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what you might be.
Yeah.
I'll try and guess.
How do you?
You can run your chart online.
Is that what it is? You find out.
Yeah, it's called Batsa.
It's by your birth time and
date.
Yes. All that. Yeah.
So you have 4 pillars, and you have your year pillar, your month pillar, your day pillar, and your time pillar.
Okay.
Like if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you saw the menus, they'd always have the year of
Yes.
So like we're in the year of the water tiger,
Yes.
right? So my year is a rat, which is water. But my day, which is the most important piece of your chart,
I get it.
Is E wood, which is rabbit. So it's how all the elements start interacting with that one element. And then you have the elements of the years.
Right.
And so it's pretty interesting.
That kind of makes sense with the different parts of your personality. And yeah.
So it's cool. But when I think about me having this, like, I'm very drawn to nature. I think it's my E wood element. That's like,
like, I know where that comes from. Yeah, it's all about my E wood.
It's all about my E wood element. So you have incorporated biophilic design in your program. Where do you see it going in the future? Well, let me back up for a second, because I find it interesting that we're talking about biophilic design. But what I have found is that people aren't actually asking for biophilic design, but they're requesting these aspects of it.
Right.
So
people going with more natural finishes, and wanting to have daylight and natural light in their space, and softer edges on things. All that kind of stuff is, I think, stuff that people are asking for, but really not knowing that that's all. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was getting at before. I don't know if I finished that thought about, there's so many things that we do intuitively.
Yes.
And then you can put a label on it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that's this now. And, and it's trending now. But it's like, I think if you're a good designer, you kind of already know those things. You understand that, that people want that. And, it's different in commercial design and residential design. I think, people wanting and spending so much more time at home now that, that's what I did over the pandemic. Is I sold one house and sold my house and bought a townhouse. But, just sort of like, how am I going to finish this out now? And so I was drawn to a lot of sort of bamboo and rattan. And even though I love mid-century modern design and I like things, I think, again, that's part of my split thing, that I like not a lot
yin and yang.
Exactly. Not a lot of clutter. Yes. But I still like the natural sort of feeling of things. And my friend Michelle came over and she's like, oh my God, this reminds me of my parents' house in the, 70s when Mom was having rattan and plants. And, it's like, she's like, I'm reliving in that all again, and I started looking around and I'm like, I can kind of see that, plants at the tops of, bookcases and, my bar stools are rattan. But it's just wanting that, I think, that natural materials, compared to sort of the cleanliness and the less clutter, it sort of is a nice balance in having that. So I think a lot of people are just doing it, like you said. Yeah.
My friend Tammy, she's a travel agent, and so she does specialized itineraries for people. And, wellness travel is really big. But last time we talked, she's like, well, people aren't asking for wellness travel, right? They're just asking for places. We want to be outdoors, we want this, but they're not saying, hey, I want to go on a wellness travel trip, right? And then there was something called, which this might interest you, because I thought about doing it, but I'm like, no, Sheri, no. But it's called transformation travel. And I'm going to talk to Tammy about this too. But basically it is about scheduling itineraries for people to have these transformational experiences. But not only that, but design these trips for people where they leave a place better than when they got there.
I like that.
It's really a cool idea.
That's interesting, because I had just talked to my mom the other day about, like, I wish there was a place we could go for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where I could get, reset and just sort of have somebody else sort of direct me and tell me what to eat, what kind of exercise to do, and really just sort of immerse myself in this 2-week thing, and then come back sort of knowing all of that information. So I guess it's exactly what you're talking about. But I was just sort of like, because it's really hard for me to, like, start eating healthy again, or start exercising again, or, it's just every little thing. It's like, I know what to do, but it would be nice to just have this focused time period where you could just really get into that. And it feels like then you would really bring it back with you. Yeah. And you would
kind of immerse yourself in it for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Exactly.
I should connect you with Tammy. Yeah. She does stuff like that. Like
That's
it's
so cool.
But look up transformational travel too.
Okay.
It's an organization. I think it's a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
But I don't even know how we got there. How did we get to I know how, because I was like, because people aren't asking for these things specifically for like wellness travel or biophilic design, but they are asking for it in ways, and things are requesting like specific things, like more natural materials, or like you said, softer edges. I need to send this to you. It was an article on wood, the biophilic response to wood.
Oh, yeah.
I should send that to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's super cool.
Like feature walls in your house, just having a wood wall, makes a huge difference in a space. I mean, I feel like that's what's missing in my space, is just sort of all my walls are drywall and painted. And, if you could just have that, whether it's wood or stone. I mean, I think stone gives a different sort of connection to nature, but yeah.
Yeah, well, this one was specifically on wood, and that they found that when you see wood, your blood pressure lowers. There's this feeling of warmth, I think it activates your parasympathetic nervous system.
Right.
And it was just like really cool to see some of the science, like they've been doing the research that you actually have a physical response to materials. Yeah. Yeah. Not just, I think a lot of times we might say we feel warm. Right.
Like
if you go to Colorado and you go skiing,
and you go into a lodge and
all wood. It's all wood. Well, I think that's really cool.
Yes. And then there's water features and whether it's outside and you can hear it, or even doing it on the inside. It's a little trickier,
on
not
the inside.
Quite as maybe architectural as we would want it to be in some cases, but. The sounds of water, the sight of water, mix that with wood and the trees and the leaves.
That's what I need as a water feature in here.
There you go. That will cover Finn Sparking.
Well, I get mixed feedback about water, because some people are like, sometimes I'll play natural sounds in here. And if there's a stream and someone's laying on here, they're like, all I could think about is going to the bathroom. So you have to be... So
you have to make sure they go to the bathroom first.
Yes, but I like bird and all of that. There's actually a fire on there too, which I love.
Yes. Well, I know you saw my Facebook post, but I lit a fire for the first time. And that was, again, that's kind of, in the line of biophilic design, and sort of, I've seen and been around fireplaces before, but I've never had one.
Yeah.
And it's a wood burning fireplace. And so last year when we had the winter storm, we had just kind of moved in. It hadn't been a year yet. And I hadn't had anybody come and check the fireplace. So I was kind of chicken to do anything with it. So over, that time I had somebody come out. So it was all, inspected and ready to go. And so last weekend it was just like, okay, now's the time. And I talked to several, they're like, Jackie, you can do it. And one friend was like, just get some newspaper first, light it on fire and put it in the fireplace so you can see what happens to the smoke. And, because I'm just like, I don't want to burn down the townhouse the first time I light a fire.
Yeah.
But it was so nice. And it was just, of course the weather was perfect for it, but it was mesmerizing, just sitting there watching it and hearing it. And, I think that was a huge, sort of connection that I made too.
So how did it make you, what was your response as far as like, did you feel relaxed?
I did.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Once the anxiety of, I'm not going to burn the house down. This is good. Then just sort of sitting, and it really is the way my floor plan is, the way I've set it up is there's, an area of this big room that's sort of the TV den-like area, and then there's the fireplace area with the sofa and the bookcases. And I haven't really used that much. A couple of times, but, I've been just sort of waiting on the fire. And so being able to, be on the sofa and the fire is going, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
So
it was very relaxing
Yeah.
and calming and smelled good. Got some of that pinion wood that's from New Mexico. They have
Okay.
it at Buchanan's. I just happened to see a lady with it the other, a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, is this good firewood? I said, I'm thinking about lighting a fire sometime this winter. She's like, yeah, this is good wood. You mix it with other, but it gives a really nice smell.
Oh,
So the smell lingered in the house too. So that was
all those
nice.
senses were just activated. Well,
Yes.
when I buy my final kind of like where I know I'm going to be for a while, I want a fireplace. And I think everyone in Houston, for the most part, wants a fireplace. But then people are always like, but why? It's always so hot there. But we have that one weekend.
Exactly.
And it makes it all worth it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
My parents have a wood burning stove.
Yeah.
And I actually went last weekend when we got that Arctic blast. I went there so I could sit in front of the wood burning stove.
Yes.
And I love it.
It's so nice. It's so relaxing.
It's so and cozy and comfortable and warm, and your stress level goes down.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The benefits of
Yeah.
any kind of natural element in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how if somebody wanted to start incorporating some of these elements into their space, what suggestions or tips would you give people?
One of the easiest ways, what we've been talking about in terms of interior plants, right, is sort of getting the greenery inside the house. And so many people have been doing that now. I mean, it's a huge business now.
Yes.
So I think bringing plants inside, but that's tricky too. So I had a landscape business and I had a yard and I had millions of plants outside, but I'm not as good at interior plants yet as I was
it's hard
at exterior plants.
Yeah.
In fact, I just took pictures of my patio with all these exterior plants that I managed to like grow and thrive and keep going. And then I come inside and my little interior plants are like, it's just like not happening. And so it's just trial and error. So I think that, advice on that too is just not to be too afraid of it. And, you're not intentionally, killing these plants, but, it does take some trial and error to figure out what works. So bringing plants in.
Yes.
And then we talked about this last time, the ability to open your windows, which again is another weird thing for Houstonians.
But you said that's changed.
I think it has changed, since we're at home and we have the ability to do that. And the weather's changed, right? That we do have seemingly a little bit more good days than we used to, not as hot. And so being able to open your windows, that's one thing, or another thing. And then just softening things up, right? Yeah. So with natural fibers and, if you can, if you're at a point when you're changing out your furniture, just sort of looking at those things and being aware of what things are made of and where they're coming from, which is kind of hard to do sometimes. I mean, you see something you like, you don't necessarily investigate, was it made sustainably? And, but if you could find the places, that do that, then you're safe. So
have you ever heard of mycelium furniture?
No.
They're taking, you know what mycelium is?
Yeah.
It's like the mushroom, the root system of mushrooms, and it's all interconnected with so it's like a blanket.
Okay.
And so, anyways, they're making furniture out of it.
Interesting.
And it's very organic. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll have to show some to you. It's super
so
beautiful.
So looking for those kind of things. So we've got natural light, we've got, textures and natural materials, airflow, again, and cleaning out your air, right? So the houseplants are going to help with that. But a lot of people are also, getting in air purifiers now. And really that's kind of a part of a normal interior environment these days, getting rid of all of those toxins that are in everything. So, so doing, and you can spend $300, or you can spend $1,500, or, to get something like that. But I think that's probably worth doing, cleaning the air out.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something that people don't associate biophilic design with, even though I know it is.
Right,
but
right.
it's the clean water, the clean air.
Yeah.
I know after COVID, the well design. I started seeing commercials for well design on the TV, which was the first time I'd ever seen that. So, and that is a lot with air.
All of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. Super cool. So, I mean, I think biophilic design is here to stay, and I think we're going to start seeing it more and more. I'm trying to remember this article. I should have put it in my notes, but it was creating cities like we were in forests. Mm-hmm. So you might have a trickling stream going down, like downtown somewhere. I mean, we have the bayou, but or you would have more greenery and it wouldn't be so, I guess, I don't know if structured's the word I'm looking for, but so
just more natural,
natural. Yes.
I think sort of the idea of even in the city.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Sort of like going downtown Houston and sort of streetscaping, but in a more natural way.
Exactly.
Not
so groomed. And so that would be interesting to see.
I mean, I think a lot of architects and designers are, it's just another way to, enhance what we're already doing.
Yeah.
And so I think it is here to stay for sure. And as we talked about before, and as we get more technology, tethered to our technology, we have to find that balance.
The metaverse.
Exactly. Whatever that is. I asked one of my students the other day, I'm like, are you going into the metaverse? And they're like, I don't even know if they knew what I was talking about. And I was just like, that Facebook thing.
But it will be a way to experience nature.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and we're doing virtual reality. That we're back at that at HCC again.
Are you?
Yeah. So we're doing it on a volunteer basis. We had, started this like track towards all of that, and then the pandemic hit. So we're just now back at it, and I've got 13 of my students volunteering to learn VR. And
so is this creating, like, they're learning VR so you can create a space so people can walk through this space?
Yeah, so there are projects now, like when we were in school, or when I was in school and you were a little bit after me, but we prepared boards, presentation boards and things like that. And we still do that. But now the students, instead of just 3D rendering their projects, they do them in virtual reality. So we can put on goggles and we can go into their spaces. And, depending on how much time that it takes time, of course. And, but it's really interesting. And HCC is doing it for all kinds of programs. Like the fashion program had like a virtual reality fashion show. And we're going there. So that's the metaverse.
Yes. It was Gucci, I think. Gucci and some other well-known fashion brands are buying or getting into the metaverse. And I guess you can...
Oh, yeah, you can buy Nikes and to wear on your avatar what, Gucci or
Gucci
whatever.
bag or...
That's the only way I can afford a Gucci bag. Well, I don't know how much they are in the virtual...
Exactly.
Are they the same? Yes.
It's kind of crazy.
We talked about that the other day. It was like, I swear there was a time when if I saved up and I really wanted a Gucci bag, I could get one. But now they're like $4,500. I'm like, that's not my budget anymore.
That's so crazy. Well, I did the Infinite here in Houston. It's the spacewalk, the virtual reality spacewalk.
Yeah. It was so
Was it cool? It was super cool. You put the goggles on, and it's a little weird because you can see your hands,
right?
But they're like that. Your hands are stars, right? So it's like this glitter, like you have glitter gloves on. So when you're reaching out for things, that's all you can see. And if you're the people around you, if you don't know them, they had a white light, or maybe. Well, anyways, I might have this backwards, but
you could connect or know who you were there with.
Yes, because you had green lights, let's say, or the staff had green. I can't remember what the colors were, But then you would walk around and, you would hit these different buttons and it would take you into like a different part of the spacecraft.
Wow.
And like at one point I was in the kitchen and they were throwing food and I was like right under, like it was a banana. And, but it was super, super cool. The crazy thing is that at the end I took off, we were still in the room and they asked you to take off your goggles. And I looked back to see everyone and all you saw were these people randomly walking in these like circles and like it was like it just looked so weird.
It's mind-blowing.
It's
right?
mind-blowing. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't want to replace nature, but I guess in some ways, if you can't connect to it, or, if we don't step up and really pay attention to what we're doing to the planet, we may only have virtual nature in the future. But I think technology is plays a huge role in what we're going to see happening for sure.
Well, there's Echo Workshop. They're here in Houston and they were on the Health and Wellness podcast and they're going to come on this podcast too, but it was wellness technology that they're getting into. So they can do surround sounds of like nature and then they do circadian rhythm lighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting you bring that up. A friend of mine sent me a photo of a book he's reading about circadian rhythms and how he's really benefiting from that.
Really?
And I think it's great because my whole sleep cycle is messed up because of the pandemic. I'm a night person naturally and so I just was able to fully take advantage of that. And now getting back to the like real world, I need to set that for sure.
Yeah, well, circadian lighting is definitely, I think, a huge benefit for sleep. In fact, that the first thing you should do when you get up in the morning is look at bright light because it sets your clock.
Sets your clock.
Yeah.
That's cool. And that brings up, like, we didn't really talk about like artificial lighting in biophilic design. That's something that's simple. And probably a lot of people have already gone down this road, but making sure you're using LED lights now and getting them as close to the daylight coloring as you can. So that's, something people can do too.
And you can buy the lights for your lamps that change.
Yes, that change.
With the time of the day.
Exactly.
Which I think is really, really cool. So I turn on, I have a lot of windows and I love it because I have a lot of natural light that comes in. But I only use lamps. So I have my windows open every day. And I guess probably around 5 o'clock, I'll turn on the lamps. And so as the sun goes down,
then your inside is kind of doing the same thing.
Same thing. It's just glowing. Yeah. So I really like it because it's really soft and kind of gets me to settle down a little bit. So.
Yeah. My townhouse came with some really awful lighting.
Did it?
Yes. And so, room by room, I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah. Using a lot of lamps and
Yeah, I don't like the lighting in here. This track lighting is, I would like to change it out, but we'll get there one day.
But it's great just because it's so functional and flexible.
Yeah. Well, and normally I don't have these lights on. I have the lamp on.
Right.
Because somebody's in here. Yes. Oh, yes. So, I want to know this. So, I would love to know the plants you have had success with indoors because I did the same thing. Like I went out and bought a lot of indoor plants last year and they thrived all summer long. They thrived in the fall, but then all of a sudden took a nosedive.
Yeah. In the winter.
And I think what happened was the sun shifted.
Yes.
And I think that's what happened.
So being on those groups, I've learned a lot about, that having grow lights is important in the winter.
That's what happened.
So that you can, the plants can adjust to that. So if you can put some grow lights in, you might have some more success with that. So I'm going to experiment with that myself. Okay. I don't have a lot of natural light. I mean, it's weird because it's bright in there to me, but it's not like where I can put plants that they get the light. So I'm going to experiment with that. So that might be something you could try. The thing about too is like, there's pet friendly plants, right? So that's another thing too. Yeah. I had to, it's like, even one of the plants that I bought, one of my cats ate it and got sick, but it's actually one of the pet-friendly plants. So I'm like, okay. So I think, you know, it just depends. It was one of the peppermillas. Anyway, it's a little round leaf plant. It was just really pretty. You know, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And I guess my cat Tree Love thought it was pretty too.
Pretty
he was
enough to
also drawn to it. Exactly. So a couple of the most common ones, the mother-in-law's tongue or the snake plant.
Yes.
And the pathos ivy. Those are like starter plants, interior plants. And those are toxic to pets.
Both of them?
Yes.
The snake and
and the pathos ivy. So, but those are the ones that, you know, are sort of easy to grow inside. So depending on if you have pets or not. But then things like English ivy, you know, I was going to mention, you can look up the NASA study on on indoor plants, because they did this whole study looking for plants that took, you know, the bad chemicals and things out of the air in their space stations. So they wanted to know which plants did what so that they could put them in the space station. So it's a good resource for...
I didn't see any plants while I did my spacewalk.
Exactly.
Where were the plants?
That's what you should have said. I know there's supposed to be plants in here.
Yeah, I would love to see that
But, you know,
study.
cleaning the air. Yeah. So, there's a lot of plants that, you know, do better at that than...
and then probably they require low light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the plants that you typically see outdoors, like bromeliads. Those do well inside because of the low light. Like I said, the English ivy, the snake plant.
I love the fig. That's kind of a designer plant.
But it is.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
I don't have success with them inside. I've killed 2 of them.
Yeah. How long did it take before they...
Not very long.
Okay.
So if yours has survived a year or 2, you're
They've
probably good.
survived a year. You're so far.
Yes. Yeah. So mine will go down quick, and I think it's just the lack of light.
Yeah.
And so I had bought 2 more because I'm like, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing them go down, and I took them outside and put them on my patios, and they're doing great.
Great. It was a lighting.
So I'm like, I guess they'll have to be outside plants here. But they're beautiful. I love those on the inside. But Boston fern, that's another good one.
Boston ferns
for inside. And
is it good inside?
I
have one, but it's outside.
And if you want flowers, right? So African violets, they do good inside.
Okay.
And
I have to make a note of all of these and go to the nursery this weekend.
I'll meet you there. My other addiction now is pots for my plants. I'm just like,
there's some pretty ones out there.
I know. Oh, and there's a new place that, so Buchanan's is, a big, great place to go. But if you want quick and you want to, sort of something a little bit smaller, have you heard of Dirt Bag?
Oh, Dirt Bag. Okay, I have not heard of that.
Yes.
Okay.
It's called Dirt Bag. And so, but it's, a lot of good interior plants and pots.
Pots can be expensive.
They can. Yes.
Especially the really big ones.
I know. I was at Buchanan's the other day, and so I hadn't been in a few weeks, and I was like, I needed a couple interior plants. I was just, needing that fix, and so it was like a quarter till they were closing, like a quarter till 5 or a quarter till 6. So I was like, let me run in here real quick and get these plants. I know I can pick something out. So I hadn't been since the holidays were over, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I got the plants, and I had like 5 minutes to spare, and I'm like, well, just, go up around where they have the pots, just
real quick,
just to see if there's anything there. And sure enough, there was this terrazzo pot, and I'm like, I have to have that.
Like, perfect.
Got it. The lady was like, man, you're like speed shopper here. Anyway,
I've had a lot of practice.
Exactly.
That's funny. Well, so I guess that's a good place to stop. Do you have any other suggestions or thoughts? You'll have to come back because I think we could probably...
There's just so much.
There's so much. And we could really focus on one piece, like water or air or I don't know. We could come up with something.
Yeah.
But
that
there's
just fun. I mean, there's a lot of it. Even sort of thinking about preparing for this, it's just like,
it's a lot.
There's just a lot to talk about.
But I think this is a good intro to what biophilic is and how somebody can benefit from it in their space. You know, we talked about lowering blood pressure. We talked about cognitive performance, creativity.
Yes, being productive, being creative. Yes.
All of that.
And just feeling calm in your, there's so many aspects of living today, life today, that are not calming.
Yeah. Well, and our environment impacts us greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important that we see it as part of our health and well-being, because we're there every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 90% of our time is spent, right? Inside.
So we might as well make it healthy, vibrant, and biophilic.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you
and
for
I
having me.
Can't wait for you to come back.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, what did you think? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So in summary, we are attracted to all that is alive and vital. And it turns out it's healthy for us. Try incorporating some natural elements into your home or workplace to gain the health benefits. Take a walk in the park, open your windows and let some fresh air in. Notice the views from your windows. Enjoy the fire on a cold night. Adjust your lighting to be in rhythm with your circadian clock. There are many simple things that you can do to connect with nature in your environment. So try some things out and let me know what you think. That concludes this episode. Just one more thing. Jackie mentioned there are many different elements to biophilic design. I'm super excited to have her back to dive in deeper to more specifics like water quality, air quality, sustainability. The list goes on. It will be fun to have this as an ongoing theme. So I hope you come back. Join us again. The next episode is on relationships, connection, and communication. And as always, I would love to hear your feedback. I'm dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring and informative with an artsy, fun, and edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet here again next time. I'll see you soon, and take care. And never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.